Most guys believe that lifestyle upgrades and improving their environment comes after they've already made money or gotten rich. But the truth is, money only amplifies what you've already built, and we need to build a solid foundation and create high standards for ourselves. You can immediately upgrade your lifestyle right now just by changing a few habits. And I'm going to go over some of these lifestyle upgrades you can make so you become that version of yourself before it's manifested in reality and before you have the money. Upgrading your lifestyle as a man is imperative because you do not want to be the rich guy that's out of shape with a belly and has no style, doesn't know how to dress himself. Then you just become a rich nerd. And you don't want to just be a jacked guy with an amazing physique, but you live in a one-bedroom dungeon and you also don't know how to dress and you have no money. So then you just become the broke gym bro. It's really important you work on every single aspect of yourself. And I like to call this the jacked renaissance, man. But basically it just means you're multidimensional. You're skilled in many different vectors of life so you get the full experience. And a lot of time when you're upgrading your lifestyle, your physique, your body, your environment, you name it, there is a point where you have to take a leap, a risk, and you have to become the version of yourself you see in the future before it's happening right now. And this is really important because you've got to act like you're already him and truly believe it before anything has proven it. But if you have that self-belief, getting there is going to be 10 times easier. And sometimes increasing your standards before you've actually made it helps you get there a lot smoother, a lot faster, and it's expedites the whole process. But if you never believe it's even possible, you're never going to reach it. So the first thing we're going to talk about, and I talk about this in every video, is getting jacked. You got to build the physique. I'm going to keep this short and simple, but your body sets the tone. It's your baseline for your standards. You get in shape, your mind is going to follow. You're going to change the way you perceive the world, the way you speak, the belief you have in yourself, and people are going to treat you 100% different. They're going to respect you. You are going to be more attractive. And if you look good in a plain t-shirt, you look good with your shirt off, you actually are proud of what you've built. This is massive leverage in day-to-day life. And this is all just about the absolute foundation. So train consistently, keep your diet clean, have a little bit of balance, but just get into the routine of training 3 to 4 times a week, progressing every time you go to the gym. And every time you go there, do it with purpose. Your goal is to go there and improve, either building muscle or losing fat or doing both, but you need to go there with a mission and stick to it. That is all we're going to be talking about the physique. It's about building presence based on your character and your imposing visual appearance. Next, we're going to be talking about curating your environment, the places you occupy the most, where you work, where you sleep, where you live, the city, your route to the gym, what gym you go to. We want to make sure all of these are more aligned with that version of ourselves we're trying to become rather than who we are now, because you cannot build a high standard life in a low standard environment. And this even goes to the people you spend time with. And at the end of the day, you have choices and you can choose where you spend time and who you spend it with. And you want to be in a place where people are high energy, looking to improve rather than making excuses, feeling sorry for themselves. You want to avoid these at all costs, and you want to feel like you're in ambitious and growing places rather than negative and regressing. Every single room, space you walk into, especially where you live, should remind you of who you're becoming, not who you are. And honestly, one of the best ways to do this, in my opinion, especially if you make money online, is rent a place if you are renting that costs more than you can afford, just a little bit more, that extra little bit of luxury. So every single day you are in a position where I'm a person who lives here. I can afford this. And then you even have to go out there and make a little bit more money. And that's the thing with making money online. There is no cap to how much you can make. So you can just keep grinding and make more, but it's very motivating. And it kind of puts you in a position where your back's against the wall and you have to grind a little bit harder, and it'll bring the best out of you. And that's when you will feel the most fulfilled, when every single day you're working as hard as you can. You're doing everything you can to improve, and you're not getting comfortable and stagnating. But I'm telling you guys from personal experience, when I first moved out to Bali, I got a really cheap place that I could afford 3-4 times over. And 3-4 days in, I felt myself regressing. I felt like I was a person who could only afford this type of place. And I immediately moved out. I lost a few thousand because I booked it for a couple months, and I immediately upgraded. And my mindset and my energy shifted completely. Every single place you go to, you should feel slightly uncomfortable. For example, if you're trying to get jacked, step one, you should be going to a bodybuilding gym where everyone has a good physique, or a high-end gym where everyone has really high standards. They're lean, they look good. This is a really good sign because you're going to see how they operate on a daily basis. You're going to be able to learn, but you're also just going to be in a place with high energy where people are getting shit done. If you work at home, or you have your office space, upgrade the office space. Get a new monitor. Get a nice chair. I say that as I'm sitting in a terrible chair, but you get the idea. Upgrade your space for the version of yourself you're becoming. It's going to cost a little bit extra money, but it will be worth it. Next, we're going to be talking about your wardrobe, how you dress, how you present yourself. This is extremely important, guys. You do not need to spend thousands of dollars to look good. If you do step one and step two, you're going to have an advantage over 99% of guys. All you need to do is simplify your wardrobe and find what works for your body. If you have a slimmer, leaner physique, wear slightly tighter fitting clothing. If you're a bit of a burlier, bigger dude, wear slightly baggier clothing, but keep your wardrobe simple. Find clothes that fit well and have nice fabrics rather than fancy designs like decals on a car. It completely ruins the aesthetic. Keep it simple. Keep neutral, masculine colors, black, charcoal, brown, green, things like this, navy. Keep it very simple. Learn how to dress, watch some videos, go on Pinterest, focus on quality over quantity. As I said before, you don't need tons of clothing options. You just need the basics: pants, jeans, nice shoes, boots, loafers, and some shirts, polos, long sleeves, button-up shirts, and you're basically set, in some blank tees that fit well. This is not about luxury, okay? We're not spending hundreds, we're not spending thousands. Just get stuff that fits well. Massimo Dutti, Zara. There's probably tons other I can't even remember, but anything like that. And take care of yourself. Groom yourself. Get a haircut every single week. It makes you feel like a new man. Brush your teeth, of course. Shave. Wear nice fragrances. All of these are very, very small investments, but they improve your quality of life on a daily basis. And again, you're holding yourself to a higher standard. It's really, really important that you do this early. All right, number 4. Build routine and rhythm, not motivation. See, if you rely on motivation, you're going to have spells where you're super excited to go to the gym, you're super excited to hold yourself to a high standard, then you're going to fall off. You want to create a routine you can always fall back to that improves your quality of life. That is the key. If it is not improving your quality of life and you're doing a 3-hour morning routine that doesn't actually help you succeed, you're not going to stick to it, because why the fuck would you? It's pointless. Make sure you're doing things that you actually see improvements from. For example, if you try sleep 8 hours a night and you set an alarm at night and it actually works and you're able to sleep 8 hours, keep doing it. If you journal and you feel like it clears your head and helps you plan your day, keep doing it. But don't do things you do not see actual improvements from. That's number 1. Sometimes things are going to take a little bit of time to see improvements from, but figure out what works for you. For a lot of you, waking up a little bit earlier, making sure you have an alarm and actually a sleep schedule, training some type of cardio or exercise every single day and doing 10K steps is going to help a ton. But one of the best parts about this, and this is a huge tip, that is one of the best ways to live your life. Not only should you build a routine in your life, but what you should do is go to the same places constantly. For example, I have a coffee shop I always go to. I have a laundry place I always go to. I have a gym, but get really familiar with the people that work there. Tip nicely, pay a little bit extra. You never know when it's going to come in handy, but also it's just nice to have these type of relationships and always have your own little spot. And then if you take other people there, they're going to be super thankful, and you build a relationship, and it's always nice when you get to see them. But this type of structure, you never know when it could come in handy. For example, maybe you need your laundry done. You can give them a call quickly. Hey, can you come down here in 5 minutes, grab my laundry? They'll say anything for you. Boom, done, because you've built that relationship, you've built that rapport, you've tipped them nicely. Now you get a first-class service. That is a huge, huge tip. Number 5, last tip. You need to have your life based around a purpose. Building this type of lifestyle, improving in all these areas, is kind of pointless if you don't have a direction you're going to. What are you actually working towards? So make sure everything is actually of benefit to you. It's actually helping you move in the right direction. Now, I'm not saying don't enjoy your life sometimes, but for example, don't be meditating 4 hours a day to try and clear your mind if your goal is to build a business and you have to work 10 hours a day. This is a bad use of your time. So every single day, write down where you're trying to head to. Did I work towards this today? What did I do to today to get me closer, and make sure you're aligned in the majority of your actions. And this will have a huge impact in your ability to audit your day, figure out if you're moving in the right direction, but also able to self-regulate what you do and if it's actually helping you get to where you're trying to go. This is huge. Journaling, I'm not gonna lie, guys, helps a lot because you do a lot of things without thinking about it, just on autopilot or out of habit, that you don't realize is holding you back drastically. A big one today for a lot of guys is doom scrolling. They sit on their phone, they do it for 2 hours right before they go to bed. They wake up tired the next day and they're frying their dopamine receptors, so they don't really enjoy anything, and doing hard things now sucks. So make sure you have purpose in your life and direction and a greater goal you're trying to get to. What I like to do with people is get them to write down where they want to be in 5 years, 1 year, and 6 months, and then start writing down that version of themselves. What do they do? What do they think? Where do they live? Etc., 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 going into great detail, and then figuring out what we can do right now to start working towards that 6 months version, and so on and so on. At the end of the day, guys, you don't need millions of dollars to make this happen. You could probably do this for only a couple $100 and it will drastically improve your life, your direction, and how your days actually flow. You just need to hold yourself to a higher standard and you will see the benefits. Get your body right, get your mind right, have purpose, dress nicer, and make sure that you have a nice routine and rhythm in your life, and you will see drastic improvements. So if you guys enjoyed this, follow me on Instagram and subscribe. My IG is @Brassai, and shoot me a DM and say elite, and I will send you a free guide on how to build an aesthetic life and body in the next 6 months.